So, Rabbi couldn't go with a walker. He was on my phone. No, I just saw. Okay, whatever it is. All right, folks. So, we spoke in the previously about the unity and the oneness of God. Divine attributes, we perceive them as kind and different, and power, because we do things in our humanness as as we are compartmentalized of different qualities. So we see, that emerges from different qualities. But in fact, even though God's divine wisdom and divine kindness, he's infinitely removed, meaning that can't be defined in any manner. Yet at the same time, he's totally, which is, if visual is frozen, am I heard at least? Am I heard too?
Yes, we can hear you, but it goes in and out, kind of breaking up.
All right. So we'll make it. So, and it's right, completely fully removed, and at the same time, complete with it. I we can't comprehend that ultimately. That's beyond our. Now, chapter 11 is further that when we speak about kindness, right? Kindness is a feeling, and that feeling can be expressed in many different ways, right? It can be expressed in many different ways. You can say to a person you love them, you can say to them, you're wonderful. You could, many forms of expression of the kindness. So when we speak about God and his kindness, so his kindness produces, but not just love, also water. So, and what is it? It's the mimer. It's the statement that he makes of let there be light, the statement of water, of creating water that creates those particular, even both of them are expression of kindness. Right? As again, this kindness can be expressed in many different ways. So in the creative process, it's not merely God's kindness that creates this world or his power of restraint that creates this world. It has to actually be reflected or expressed rather in a statement, in a mimer, in a word. Those words are the letters that make up language. In other words, what we spoke about till now in divine emotions, which in you can just to back up for a moment about the divine emotions. There's 7 emotions, and each day God, uh, sorry, each day God animates each day with its unique emotion. So the first day is Chesed, Sunday. Monday is Gvura. Tuesday is Tiferes, and so on. Now, it doesn't mean merely that attribute is shining that day, but it means it's the dominant one. All the other attributes are there because all the attributes are one with God. So therefore, they all have to be expressed or um, um, have to be part of the creative process. a day when we have light, which is an act of kindness because the light had no boundaries, and not sunlight. It's inherent creation. Second day is Gvora, showing power of restraint. What does God do? He separates between the higher worlds and the lower worlds, the waters. He separates. The third day, God is compassion. What's compassion? Is that the nature of water should overrun earth, but God's compassion. He makes earth. Separated. He separated earth. He separated earth. Not separated. He allowed earth to rise above the water, and that there should be vegetation should appear. That's already the beginning of something of the world. That's God's compassion. Fourth day is enduring triumph. That's the sun and the moon were created. Fifth day is sea animals, which is humility. Sixth day is animals and human, which is connectivity. Of course, the seventh day is Shabbos, which is royalty, almost kingship.
I'll join you on the starting.
And kingship. So, but that's not the end of it. That's not it. It's not Ched itself that creates in the first day light is also the source of creating water, because they're both an expression of divine kindness. So then how does that, in other words, in kindness or in any emotion, it's language. Language begins with words, right? With words. So it's not sufficient in creation that God's kindness is creating the world. That's not sufficient that God's kindness is creating the world. It has to be expressed specifically with a statement, a minor. And that statement is now, when God creates the world, through language, through letters. So there's two types of language. There's two places of language. There's in thought, you have language, right? And you have in speech and verbalizing in speech. So when God creates the world, he creates two divine worlds. One is a hidden world, which is like our thoughts are hidden. It's a higher world. And then there's the world of speech, which is the lower world, the revealed world. So which means there's always a thought that precedes speech, right? And we think, do we think what we think? Because we feel what we feel. So from feelings that is not of any language, it's beyond language, it gives rise into thought and into speech, language. Okay. That is today's class. All right, folks. Rambam we're not going to do. It's a little difficult over here. Let us maybe later on I'll notify you. Maybe we'll do something, but it's really a little hectic over here. All right. Thank you, folks. God bless.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi Fine.
Thank you so much.